There comes a point in every human journey when the heart quietly whispers, I want more than this. But what separates those who truly rise from those who remain still is not intelligence, talent, or luck, it is intensity. It is the burning fire of desire that refuses to accept half-hearted dreams. The book, Why Lukewarm Desire Never Wins, is not merely about ambition, it is about the spiritual truth that the universe only bends for the soul that is completely consumed by its longing. The author begins with a simple but piercing idea: mediocre desire leads to mediocre life. Most people say they want success, peace, or love, but their wanting is weak, unstable, and fleeting. They wish for a better body but won't give up comfort. They long for wealth but fear risk. They pray for purpose but run from discipline. Lukewarm desire is like lighting a candle in a storm. It flickers beautifully for a moment, but dies before it can warm the air. The book teaches that only a fierce, unwavering desire, one that survives doubt, fatigue, and rejection, has the magnetic power to draw life's miracles closer. To bring this truth to life, the author introduces the story of a man named Daniel, a quiet dreamer who longed to be a musician. For years, he talked about his passion, played occasionally, and told everyone about his love for music. But he never burned for it. His life was filled with excuses: too tired, too busy, too late. One day, in a moment of painful clarity, he watched another artist on stage living his dream, and something within him shattered. He realized that lukewarm desire had been his silent prison. It was not the world that held him back, it was his own softness of wanting. From that day, Daniel transformed his wish into hunger. He practiced till his fingers bled, played on streets, failed countless times, but that hunger gave him peace. Years later, he stood on that same stage, not as a dreamer, but as the dream realized. Through Daniel's journey, the author draws a powerful lesson: life only responds to those who have no plan B. The universe listens to obsession, not casual interest. When your desire becomes your identity, when it consumes your excuses and shapes your every choice, you begin to attract power you never knew existed. Lukewarm desire asks, what if I fail? While burning desire declares, I will die trying. The book also delves into the emotional roots of weak desire. Often, people stay lukewarm not because they lack vision, but because they fear disappointment. To want something deeply means to risk heartbreak. To want intensely means you might lose. So, people protect themselves by pretending not to care too much. But this emotional armor becomes a cage. You cannot shield yourself from pain and still expect to feel alive. The author writes, you can't half love your purpose and expect full blessings. The universe rewards naked vulnerability, the courage to want something so deeply that its loss would break you. Throughout the book, we are reminded that passion isn't always loud or dramatic. Sometimes, it's the quiet persistence of showing up day after day, even when no one claps for you. The fire of real desire doesn't need validation, it feeds on faith. It's waking up at 5 a.m. to write, to train, to pray, to build, while the world sleeps. It's doing the work not because someone is watching, but because your soul knows it must. Another profound insight the author shares is the difference between comfort and calling. The human heart always leans toward comfort, while the soul calls us toward expansion. Lukewarm desire lives in the comfort zone, it dreams big but moves small. True desire lives at the edge of discomfort, where growth feels like pain but also like awakening. The author writes, when you choose comfort over calling, you trade eternity for safety. Every hero, artist, leader, or saint who ever transformed their world had one thing in common: they were willing to be uncomfortable longer than others. Through stories of real people, athletes, inventors, teachers, and even parents, the book paints a picture of what burning desire looks like in everyday life. A mother working 3 jobs to give her children a better life. A young student studying by candlelight with unshaken belief in her dreams. A man battling addiction who chooses faith again and again, even after failing. These are not just examples of will, they are reflections of divine desire expressing itself through human courage. As the chapters unfold, the author reveals a spiritual dimension to desire. He suggests that desire itself is sacred, it is the voice of the divine within us, calling us toward our highest potential. When you feel a powerful desire, it's not greed, it's guidance. It's your soul remembering what it was born to do. Lukewarm desire is not just weakness, it's spiritual forgetfulness. It means you've lost touch with your own divine hunger. The cure, then, is not more motivation, it's remembrance. Remembering who you are, and what you were created for. The author encourages readers to make a vow, to never again approach life half-heartedly. Whether it's love, work, or faith, give your whole self to it. The world doesn't respond to hesitation, he writes. It bows before commitment. There's a sacred power in saying, I'm all in. Once that decision is made, life begins to rearrange itself around your conviction. People appear, doors open, timing shifts, all because your energy has become single-pointed. One of the most beautiful parts of the book discusses the spiritual law of intensity. When your desire becomes pure, not for ego, but for growth and contribution, life conspires to support it. The universe cannot resist a heart that burns with purpose. The book compares it to sunlight through a magnifying glass. Diffuse light warms nothing, but focused light can ignite fire. So it is with desire. When scattered, it warms the surface of your life. When focused, it transforms it entirely. In the final chapters, Daniel returns as a symbol of fulfilled desire, not because he gained fame, but because he found alignment. His success was not just external, it was internal peace. He learned that true victory is not getting everything you want, but becoming the kind of person who can hold what you desire with grace. The author closes by reminding us that lukewarmness is not just a lack of effort, it is a betrayal of your own spirit. Every soul was designed to burn with purpose, to shine, to create, to love intensely. To live without that fire is to merely exist. As the book concludes, we are left with a challenge, to examine our own desires. Where are we half-hearted? Where have we been saying, someday, instead of, now? The message is clear, nothing great is ever achieved by a lukewarm heart. The world belongs to those who dare to burn, who risk rejection, who fail forward, and who keep their inner flame alive through storms. Because, in the end, success doesn't come to the most talented or the luckiest, it comes to the most devoted. Why lukewarm desire never wins, is both a mirror and a map, a mirror that shows you where you've settled for less, and a map that guides you back to your fire. It teaches that the secret to transformation is not in doing more, but in wanting more deeply. Not in chasing 10 things, but in surrendering to one thing fully. Life is waiting to reward the person who says, I'm ready to burn for what I believe in. And perhaps that's the greatest truth of all. When your desire burns hot enough, it doesn't just change your circumstances, it changes you.